Good evening to you all. This is Piya Mayenin, Immigration, Employment and Family Law Solicitor. This is my third employment law video on furloughed employees or the Coronavirus Job Retention Scheme, the scheme that came about in response to the COVID-19 pandemic, where employers can furlough their employees. There has been some very important updates on the 15th and the 17th of April by HMRC, and I wanted to communicate some of those updates to you. First and foremost, the start date for this scheme, the opening date is tomorrow, 20th of April 2020. Moreover, the Chancellor of Exchequer has extended the end date to the end of June. So it's not end of May anymore, it's the end of June. And this can be extended even further if needed. And the main reason for this extension was because of the concerns about those that would be made redundant. If they are large in numbers, then they would need consultations, and in order to cover those consultation periods, if the number was larger than 100, for instance, then you would need 45 days consultation that would have needed to start on the 18th of April by the previous date. In order to deal with this, it is now the end of June. The cut-off date, the 28th of February, do you remember? I had said that on the 28th of February, those that are on the payroll, they're the ones that can be furloughed, and that was the cut-off date. This has been brought forward to the 19th of March. Other changes, other important changes that I would highlight now is the guidance to employees that attempts to clarify which employees can be furloughed and how this can take place. And what it says is that an employer must confirm in writing to the employee that you've been furloughed, and if this is done in a consistent way with employment law, then this constitutes as valid consent from the employee. The employee does not need to write back or communicate anything back. It would just be taken as consent. So he does not specifically need to say, I give you I give you consent or agreement. So this is actually a conflict with the directions from the Treasury direction to HMRC, and that was published on the 15th of April under sections 71 and 76 of the Coronavirus Act 2020. The legal basis for this scheme, or paragraph 61 and 67, say that employees can only be furloughed if an employer and employee have agreed in writing, this could be electronic emails, that the employee will cease to do any work in relation to their employment. So it remains unclear then when an employer can actually apply in the scheme. So this still needs further clarification. To go on then, the guidance of the 17th of April to employees did include the annual leave of the first guidance, and but this topic was not covered in the employer's guidance. So in the employee's guidance, what it said was that the workers continue to accrue leave, and they can take their leave whilst on furlough, and that your usual holiday pay, they say, your usual holiday pay you can take in accordance with the Working Time Regulations 1998. Now, This means that the employers will be obliged to pay the additional sums over 80%. Remember, furloughed rate is only 80% of the salary and the original rate is 100%. But it does also state that employers have the flexibility to restrict when leave is taken, if this is a business need. Those are the important updates that I thought to give you. I also would like to point out that the government website has some very, very good documents published there, in addition to these two documents published by HMRC. Number one is a step-by-step guide to how you claim, and number two is how you calculate the 80%, and also what you can include. You remember I had been over those things you can include, and the main difference is whether they're discretionary benefits, monetary benefits, or whether they're non-discretionary. And if they're non-discretionary, then they can be included. So that's a very good document to look at. And those discretionary ones obviously are not included. I hope this has been helpful. I will try to make more videos. If anyone so wishes, please do let me know, and do not hesitate to leave a question. Thank you very much, and have a very good evening wherever you are. Bye.